All right, let's talk about some of the most mysterious people on the internet, the ones who never, ever post photos of themselves. You know exactly who I'm talking about. They're online, they're active, but their digital footprint is, well, it's practically non-existent. They're what you might call online ghosts, and today, we're gonna figure out why.
Seriously, just for a second, picture your friends list. Is there someone who comes to mind whose profile is just a blank slate? No new selfies, no vacation pics, nothing from last weekend's party? They are a complete and total digital enigma. It might be a friend, a cousin, or, hey, maybe it's even you.
I just love this quote because it hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling. We're not just talking about being a little private here. This is a whole other level of digital invisibility that feels really deliberate, almost like an art form. And yeah, it's funny, but it brings us to the big question. What's really going on here? And here is where it gets super interesting. You might think, oh, they're just shy, or maybe it's social anxiety. But for most of these people, nope. It's a conscious, intentional decision. They are actively choosing to opt out. And the reasons behind that choice reveal some really fascinating things about our psychology.
It turns out that these online ghosts generally fall into one of three distinct categories. You've got the self-sufficient, the judgment dodger, and the authenticity architect. And trust me, once you understand these three types, you're going to start seeing them everywhere. So let's break them down one by one.
First up, the self-sufficient. These are people who simply don't need the likes, the comments, or the shares to feel good about themselves. And it's not arrogance, not at all. It's just that their self-worth is built from the inside out, not from the outside in.
And this really gets to the core of it. For the self-sufficient, their confidence is already a done deal. It doesn't need to be propped up by digital reassurance from a bunch of strangers tapping a little heart icon. Their sense of validation comes from their real-world achievements, their relationships, and their own internal compass.
Okay, now for our second type, the judgment dodger. For this person, hitting post is anything but simple. In their mind, it's a high-stress, low-reward activity. They see it as this psychological obstacle course that's just filled with potential misinterpretations, judgment, and all the anxiety that comes with wondering who saw it and what they really thought.
Really, it all comes down to a simple cost-benefit analysis. The judgment dodger has done the math, and for them, a few seconds of validation is just not worth a potential day or more of overthinking everything. So for them, opting out isn't about avoidance. It's a really rational act of self-preservation. It's about protecting their peace of mind.
And finally, that brings us to our third type, the authenticity architect. This person's main motivation is a deep, deep desire to just live their life without turning it into a performance. They feel that the moment you decide to post something, you stop living an experience and you start producing it for an audience.
This phrase just sums up their entire philosophy perfectly. The authenticity architect values the richness of the actual real-life experience, not its polished digital version. They have no interest in curating their lives for an audience because, for them, a moment doesn't need to be seen by others to be meaningful. They want memories, not metrics.
So when you boil it all down, neither approach is better or worse. Sharing online to feel connected to a community, that's a completely valid way to navigate your identity in this digital age. But choosing to stay private to feel more grounded in your own life, that's equally valid. They're just two different strategies for being human in the 21st century. So I'll leave you with this to think about. The next time you go to post something, just ask yourself, am I sharing a moment or am I asking for proof that the moment mattered? Because the people who don't post, they aren't looking for that validation. They already know their experiences have value. Thanks for checking out this explainer.